Hello, welcome or welcome back to Melaninpages, where I help you explore all the Black literary voices in this world. Okay, so today we're getting into a reading vlog, and we're going to be reading. Well, we already started, so we're reading Junie by Aaron Erikstein. I think that's how you say it. And I wanted to come to this with a little bit of stuff to tell y'all. So I've read 100 pages. So I am officially 29% into the book. So first off, let me tell you, this is my first historical fiction. So I am super excited because I was kind of getting a little bored with the romance. Not bored. No, yeah, bored. That's accurate. Because it was just too much. It was just like too much at one time. Like I primarily read romance, but I also love all genres. If a black author wrote it, I'm reading it. And so it really don't matter. So I was like, you know what? I think I'm in a romance slump. Like I think I need to read something else and come back when I'm feeling like, I could enjoy this. So that's what I'm doing. And I was like, you know what? It's Black History Month, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me read a little historical. Let me learn something while I'm reading. Like, why not? So let's get into my girl Junie, because one thing she's doing is too damn much.
It's time to stop!
But we gonna get to Junie and all her antics. Cause girl, you're killing me. You're stressing me out. Anyway, let's get to it. Okay, so basically this book is about Junie. I think her real name is actually Delilah, but she goes by Junie. And she is a slave. She is a maid for her best friend named, why am I forgetting everybody's name? This is embarrassing. She's a slave for her best friend. Is it Venus? Oh my god. Like, did you read Violet? It's Violet. She's a slave for her best friend Violet. Behind closed doors, they are best friends, and she also taught her how to read and write. Anyway, yes. So she's a slave, and Junie is very carefree. She is 16, so she's kind of like carefree, rebel, wants to do whatever she wants to do. So her sister dies. It's on the back. It's not a spoiler, y'all. Her sister dies. Her sister's already dead when the book starts, okay? So her sister is dead, and she has a lot of thoughts on her sister's death and her relationship with her sister and her family's thoughts and all of that. So she's dealing with that, and then she comes in contact with her sister again and is tasked with doing these three things in order for her sister to be laid to rest finally. That's all I can say without just telling you exactly what I'm trying to say. Okay, so thoughts. Um, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. I'm definitely kind of like, ooh, but it's just like Junie she's just the character wrote her well because for 16 you really don't listen. Like you don't to anyone. Like you everybody tells you don't do this and you do it. Like it's so frustrating. And then I start thinking, damn, was I like that? And I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. So the writing is top tier. Is definitely accurate. But first of all, nobody told me that historical fiction is gonna piss you off. Because of course it is fiction, but like it's also mixing in like things that did happen. It's a mix, right? So it's like the way that they talk to them, like the way that they masters and everything talk to them, just really like they're not like, I haven't seen them be overly like mean or nasty to them, but they literally treat them like they're not human. And it's crazy because back then that was they were property, and I'm baffled by it. Like it's just one thing to hear about it, but one thing to be able to visualize it and see it in a book. So Aaron has really done a great job with making it to where I can like visualize the scenes, and it's really pissing me off and making me uncomfortable because it's like, How dare you do that? Like, that's crazy. And then on the flip side of that, you also have her cousin. I think it's Bessie, her name. Oh Lord, the names, I'm sorry. Bessie or Bess, something like that. She is kind of like on the up and up, to where it's like she is basically doing everything that she can to survive. So she kind of like gets in Junie's like behind about like stop misbehaving and stop doing whatever it is you want to do. Like, you can't keep acting like this, which I mean, I understand that because it's really annoying. Like, the girl just be doing, sorry y'all, the girl just be doing the absolute most, and it's like she puts her life in danger and she's doing dangerous stuff, and she doesn't care. Like, I don't understand. Like, girl, why you don't care? Like, you need to stop. But what I'm talking about with Bessie is that she is so conditioned and she is so trained to just do everything that they need and act the way, like, she got the way they want her to act down packed. There's this one line that I underlined, and it made me sad. I was like, "Oh my god, like, you have one person who's kind of like acting out, kind of rebelling against the whole like slavery thing, kind of rebelling, not really, but she's not like, she's doing sneaky things, she's just not getting caught." And then you have the other person who is like not like doing exactly what they need, or what, or acting exactly how she knows she needs to act in order to survive. And it's just sad. Okay, so it says, fetch Violet when the mistress requested, Junie says, and offer the guest a, oh wait, hold on, let me start from here. Okay, you remember what you're supposed to do? Bess asks, scooting to stand within whispering distance. Fetch Violet when the mistress requested, Junie says, and offer the guest a drink when they ask. Not when they ask. They ain't gonna ask. You step up to them when they get on the porch and they'll take one if they want. I just hold it out. Yes, you just hold it out like a statue. Do you say anything to them? No. So it's like you have to act like you're not even a person. Like, unless they want to talk to you, unless they talk to you, you don't say nothing. You just act like a statue. I don't know why that bothered me so bad, but it's just so crazy how Bess is just so, she's exactly what they want. She knows how to be exactly how they want her to be. And it's sad. It's sad. It's it's sad, upsetting. It makes me angry. Makes me uncomfortable. Like, it just makes me feel so many things. But when a book can make you feel things, that means the writing is good and that they're portraying what they need to portray well. So it's all good things on that department. What else do I have to tell y'all? Yeah, so we're finally getting into like a quest kind of part of the book, where like there's these things that she has to do to finish what she needs to complete. And I'm interested to see how that goes along. Now, I am a little bit like, I feel like it hasn't happened yet, but I just feel it happening and I'm not excited about it, because the whole reason why I took a break from romance is to not read any romance. And I think, I could be wrong, but I think that she does end up having a love interest. And I just like don't care about that. Like, I want to just do the task and all of that. I don't want to do no romance. Like, so I'll read it, but it's not gonna do nothing for me, because that's not what I came here for. So that's the only thing that I'm like, ugh, I hope that's not where it's going. But you already know, somebody who reads romance all the time, you already know, how the meet cutes be going and all of that stuff. So hopefully it doesn't go like that. But there's another quote that I like, actually, when she was talking to her grandma, and I thought it was clever. Like, I really think the writing is up to par. And Erin lives in Brooklyn, so shout out New Yorker. I hope I can meet her so I can get my book signed, because if I really really enjoyed this book, it will be on the shelf, and I would love to have it signed. So let me see. Let me find the quote. Did I underline it? Oh. So she said, "You ain't the only one with hurt, Junie. This world is full of it, and going through it thinking you're the only one carrying something is an easy way to lose the bit of love you might have." Wow. I think that quote is really interesting because it speaks on us as humans and how we sometimes forget that we aren't the only people in the world, or we aren't the only people in our immediate circle that are going through things or that are feeling pain or hurt, right? Because everybody, including Junie, has lost her sister or their niece or their nephew, whoever she was to them. They have lost a family member, and Junie isn't the only one experiencing this. So she's basically telling her like, I hurt just like you hurt, and if you can't recognize that, you'll lose the people that love you in your life because you can't really seem to love them back enough to recognize their pain and that they go through things too. And I was like, oh my god. Oh, you didn't have to hit me with that one. Like that one was a little bit, we getting deep. But I really enjoyed that. I will probably come back. I'm at the like 30-page mark. I'll probably come back to y'all maybe like 60 mark, and then again at like the very bitter end, just so y'all can get like my real raw reaction on how this ends. But we're gonna like pan this through the weekend because today is Friday, so we'll probably finish by Sunday. That's kind of how I'm trying to pace it. So we'll probably finish by Sunday, and yeah. So I'll come back with another update when I have something bookish to say. Peace, y'all. Okay, y'all, so I stand corrected because I know I said I wasn't here for the romance, and I'm not. But they might be making me like it. They might be making me like it. Even though I'm not even sure it's going to turn into that, but I just have a feeling. So listen to this. They stay like this, reading back and forth until they make a rhythm. First, Junie's rapid beat and high timbre, followed by Caleb's slow bass. Even with his repetitions and stumbles, she falls into the story, imagining these cotton fields to be a faraway German hamlet surrounded by witches and castles instead of overseers and plantations. Reading's just something I do, she says. Yeah, like air is something to breathe, Caleb says. He leans back on his outstretched arms to look at the moon. We all have a gift that we are nothing without. And you, Delilah June, you ain't nothing without your words. Aww. That's so sweet. I love that she is a reader. And I also love that reading really shows here how much of escapism it can be for somebody, especially her, being that she lives on a plantation and she lives her whole life taking care of other people, that the one thing that she has is words on a paper that help her escape to different places. I'm just like so like, damn, I'm just a romance girl at heart. It don't matter what I said, it don't matter nothing. I'm always gonna like the romance if it's written right. Hey, I know I said I wasn't here for it, but that was then and now is now. Cause now I'm like, oh, this is so cute. But yeah, y'all, so I wanted to share because that's probably gonna be my favorite quote in this whole book, because like, okay, y'all cute. Okay, y'all, so I'm 46% in, and here's my issue with Junie. Junie is a character I feel like you gonna love, but you gonna hate at the same time. Because she just, like, I don't understand why she is persistent on just doing things she shouldn't be doing. Like, first off, she finds out some pretty interesting information about her sister that she didn't know before. And granted, she's upset about it, which is valid. But then she goes and takes it out on somebody who has nothing to do with it and starts treating him like crap. And it's like, girl, that's your only friend who actually really sees you as who you are and wants you to experience life outside of the 500 acres that you've been at all your life, right? Why are you treating him like that? Like he did something to you. And then when you say something to him that you can't take back, now you ready to cry. And it's like, girl, you can't keep acting like that and then expecting people to just forgive you. That's not how life works. So that's my one thing to say really is she is just getting on my nerves. She's very annoying to follow because I just don't understand, like, because at first I was starting to feel for her because I'm like, okay, like I could, you like, yes, she's 16 and she doesn't listen, but like, one, what 16-year-old listens? And then two, it's like she lived on a plantation for her whole life and all she wants to do is experience things that bring her joy. And I think that that's fair, you know? She doesn't get to do anything but take care of other people. The one thing she should be able to do, um, she should be able to experience something with joy in it. Fair. What's not fair is how things happen to her and she goes and takes it out on other people. But I guess that goes to say that hurt people hurt people. So yeah, I'm just very like I'm trying to like I'm already starting to think of a rating for this book because if I don't finish it today, I'm definitely finishing it tomorrow. And I'm just very like teetering on like what like there's a lot of things that I've liked and there's a lot of things that I've disliked. Well, not a lot of things that I liked. Okay, so what I've disliked is I feel like for historical fiction, I just feel like I haven't learned as much as I was hoping to have learned. Because now it just feels like we're just following romances. And although the romance has gotten cute, and although I do like it, it's not what I came here for. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if we were learning and doing the romance, then I'd be like, okay, well, we're getting like more than what we bargained for. So that's great. But it just feels like it's less like learning and more just romance. Like, I don't know. Maybe I had different expectations of what a historical fiction is supposed to be. So I don't know. But yeah, that's my biggest gripe with it. And then I feel like every time we take like one step forward with the plot in terms of like the tasks that are needed to be done, we take like 5 steps back. And it's just like, can we do it? Like, can we do the part that everybody's like waiting to see? Like, I don't understand. And yeah, so those are my issues, but things that I like. The writing is good. She definitely like I've definitely been underlining. I definitely like how she's written it and the romance that a character is experiencing is good, and I actually think that it's very cute. So it is making me feel some things. It is making me feel some things, so that's always a good sign. So I am on page 165. I'm trying to get to 245 today, and then tomorrow I'm trying to knock out the last like 100 pages so I can come back with my rating and my review and all that good stuff. But yeah, so currently she's having to deal with her the consequences to her actions of acting the way she's acting, and I don't feel bad for her because it's like you can't keep doing that. Like how many times do you want somebody to forgive you? Because throughout this whole book, you've just been doing things. So those are my thoughts currently. I'll come back probably tomorrow with wrap up thoughts. Um, Miss Junie has just done something that she ain't gonna be able to take back. I mean, I know it was like kind of like instinct kind of thing where it's like something happened, you just reacted to it, but See, I was going to put, because I reached my quota for today. I said, okay, I'm going to read 145 pages for today. And I reached it, but now at 70%, I need to know what happens. I'll be back, because you know what? I feel you. Like, I feel why you did it. But you got to remember who and what you are. Sadly, in this moment in time, in this place, you don't have the right to do what you did. So now I'm like, oh my God, no. Because what's about to happen, what I think is about to happen, and there was a witness. Y'all, okay. Okay, you want to ramp it up at 70%. I see what you're doing. It's like now the truth comes out on how you really feel. And it's like, put somebody in the corner, put they back against the wall, and now you gonna see how they truly feel. Because for her to say this whole book has been going, it's been kiki and ha ha ha. And I've caught like little things to where I'm like, I'm side-eyeing you. I'm side-eyeing you. I'm side-eyeing you. And then now she just flat out and comes out and says it. And throughout the whole book, there's like been things that it's kind of like, she'll say something to Junie, like, oh, can you please go fetch me this, right? And she'll say it nicely. But y'all, you have to understand that she knows Junie's going to do it. Because at the end of the day, Junie is her slave. She is her maid before she is her friend. And that is important to remember. And I think sometimes it gets mixed up and confused when so often we see them enjoying time with each other. But for her to flat out say this is crazy. Because it's like, oh, now you want to say how you really feel. But can you blame her for feeling this way? Because I also feel like just as much as Black people during that time were raised to believe that, you know, darker skinned Black people are ugly and X, Y, and Z because of how white people would treat the darker skinned Black people and how they would treat them opposed to lighter skinned Black people, you start to see the difference or the privilege that the light-skinned Black people got for their skin color, right? So you see the trauma and how it affects Black people in this book. And then you also see how what you are taught and the, what is it called? The word, it's a word on the tip of my tongue that I want to say. The, not like generation, internalized racism. Yes. So the internalized racism you see between the Black people, because several times you hear them telling Junie like, oh, like, I didn't know you was fit to be a maid. You look like you need to be out in the field because of her skin color. But now you see like, oh, although throughout the book Violet has never been outrageously racist or has said things that will make you feel like she believes the things that she has been raised around, subconsciously it's all she knows. Like, it's all she knows. She literally lives on a plantation and has people constantly taking care of her, constantly cleaning her messes, constantly making sure that she gets everything she needs before she even knows that she needs it. So of course this makes sense as to why she's saying that, but it's just baffling because this is the first time in the book that she's actually coming out and saying it. And it's just kind of like you tricked me. Like, I didn't expect it. I didn't expect it because I'm like, you know, like, they're friends, I guess. Like, you know, I don't know. But then I'm like, why would you say that? Like, that's, wow, maybe I gotta take back that I didn't learn This is good that I'm finishing this book because I was like, oh, it's a historical fiction, and I feel like I'm not learning, but you are. It might not have been the type of story that I had in my head that I thought I was gonna read, but it is an important story to tell about the dynamics that take place, about internalized racism, about how back in this time, even if they were your friends, they were never really your friends. Even if they were nice to you, they were never really nice. You get it? I think that's what I'm supposed to get. That's what I'm getting. Comment down below what you got if you read it. All right, y'all. I think the last time I will come back is when I'm finished because 70%, and now I'm feeling motivated to just knock it out tonight. So that's what I'm gonna do. And then tomorrow, well, that's what I'm gonna try to do. If not, then early morning tomorrow. And then tomorrow, Sunday, I was thinking about visiting the bookstore, which I haven't been to. You know what? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow I'm fixing. I'm talking like I'm from this era. I'm fixing to go to the library, my local library. I haven't been there in a long time, and I do have a library card. And I'm just like, you know what? Let me go because I use my Kindle most of the time. And I want to keep these local libraries open because libraries are such good resources for one people who, don't have the money to pay for a Kindle, people who don't have the money to have Kindle Unlimited and have all these access. These are how we keep these public and free access to books alive for people who need them. You know what I mean? By using them. If you don't use them, then they're not gonna get the books that you want. You're not gonna get the diversity in the libraries that you want if you don't go and request and make sure that you're using your library to the best of your ability. So here's my little contribution to society, if you will. And yes, I'm gonna go visit, and even if I don't pick up any books, I'm just gonna see what they have. If anything catches my eye, I mean, I'll pick it up if it's there. It's free. I got a library card. Why not? I don't. The library kind of gives me anxiety though, because it's like I gotta bring it back on this day. That just like I don't know. That just makes me anxious because I'm like, what if I don't finish it? What if I don't start it? What I wait? Like blah 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 blah. But yeah, so. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I have my Kindle set up here, and I'm talking to y'all, and it's like an eye view behind the camera. And I just read something that Violet said. You know, I have been duped. And I honestly say that, and I'm not upset about it because I feel like the only way I've been duped is because the writing was so good that you got me. You got me because even I was like thinking something that was not true. Okay. But anyway, long story long because I don't shut up. I'm going to go finish this book. I'm going to come back with my final thought. Okay, y'all. So I'm back with my final thoughts of Junie. And first, I want to give just my overall rating. So my rating for this book will be 3 stars. Um, 3 stars on my rating scale is not terrible, but it's also not the best. It means I liked it, but I didn't love it. So let me talk about the things that I liked. The writing, her writing is beautiful. There's so many times I underlined, so many times it made me swoon, it made me laugh, it made me do all these emotions, right? So the writing is definitely not the problem. And because of that, I will definitely check in whenever this author does release another book because her writing was so good that I'm like, okay, maybe with a different story out, my enjoyment will increase. But what really was the issue were several things actually. One, Junie. I understand Junie is 16 and all of that, but I just felt like she had no character development. Like she was kind of reckless in the beginning of the book, and it's like from the beginning to the end, she learned nothing. She kept making decisions. She kept making big decisions very quick without even thinking. Like, she didn't think them out. She didn't take days to plan. And you would think she would have that mindset like, okay, this, if I get caught, this can get me killed, right? So let me take a second to actually think about what it is I want to do. No, she'll think about it at 8 a.m. and by 12 a.m. she's doing it. And then when it backfires, she's surprised. She's like, oh my God, why didn't it work? Because you didn't think it through. And then she did it throughout the whole book. And every time something happened to her, or every time she did something and was trying to save or protect other people, she just started treating them like crap. Like, I just couldn't get down with her character and her lack of development. Like, it was just ridiculous. And then I felt like for an historical fiction, and keep in mind that this is my first, so I don't really have nothing to go off of, but it's just like in my head, it's supposed to be a balance of the fiction and the historical. And I just feel like I walked away learning more from the end of the book at the author's note than I learned from the whole entire book. Like, yes, I did learn some things, and obviously I tell you guys earlier what I learned, but like, I didn't learn as much as I thought I would have learned with an historical fiction that's 300 plus pages. Like, I was underwhelmed. It was underwhelming. The reason why I got the 3 stars though is because the story that it does give is good. I enjoyed that story kind of. But then the ending comes. Yeah, even the ending was kind of like, oh, okay. Like, it just happened really fast. And then she's still doing shit she shouldn't be doing. And then at the end, the, let's say, quote unquote, the villain of the story just like sits her down. He was like, and goes, okay, this is why I did everything. And it's just like I kind of wanted it to be more like done with a little bit more. Sorry, y'all. I'm playing with my hair. Done with a little bit more like done more skillfully. Like, not just because I just feel like that's a cheap way to do the ending. Like, you just basically sit her down and you just tell her like I was the one who did everything. And I feel like it should have been done in a little bit more of a, like, we find out or we see for ourselves. I don't know. I felt like it was more just telling and no showing, which definitely gave it the lackluster there. So, will this book become part of my wall of fame behind me? As much as I love the pretty cover, because look at it, gorgeous, I will not be purchasing this book. I will not be purchasing this book, but I will be on the lookout for any other books this author comes up with in the future. I do recommend it though. I just recommend it with you going in with the right expectations. Okay. So I definitely do also recommend it for people who are like myself, beginners in historical fiction. But again, fix your mindset. It's not going to be like heavy learning. If you going like that, I think you will enjoy the story for what it is. Okay. But I hope you guys had fun spending a cozy weekend in with me. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, y'all.